All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to the How Good podcast with myself, Thomas, and my co-host
And Johnson. And
Here we-
Johnson, the
Here
big
we
bro.
go.
Big
The
bro.
big bro. Here we go. So we did do an episode last week. However, things that could have gone wrong, I guess, did go wrong, and it was a little bit of a practice for us. So we're back with the official first episode.
Yeah.
So how are we
fingers
feeling,
crossed
Johnson?
Well, feeling good, man. Yeah, obviously trying to start a podcast is a lot more complicated than you might think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Technical issues in that. My video actually cut off with about half an hour to go in the episode, so that was brilliant.
Right when we were about to do the clips.
Yeah. How
Yeah,
good.
that was excellent. But yeah, no,
Anyway.
we're back, and we're here to do, I guess, like a NBA playoffs update and second round highlights so far. So, but before we get into that, we are going to do our top 3 how good moments, and these will be moments that we do through every episode, and they're just our how good moments of the week. Since this is our first episode, we're doing
Yeah, first
of the year.
episode. We've decided that we're gonna wrap up 2025 as a whole into our top 3 how good moments of the year. Not easy to do. There's been a lot of cool shit that's happened in 2025 in the world of sport. But
Oh yeah,
regardless, we'll kick things off. I think we have a unanimous decision for the first one, don't we?
yeah, absolutely.
Alex the Great Volkanovski winning the featherweight title back. That was such a feel-good moment, especially for us down here in this side of the world. I feel like we've done it pretty tough the last couple years in the world of sport. It was nice to just get a big result for the boys down this end of the world.
Absolutely. Couple losses for Volk. Izzy's on his slide. Hooker's so injured. So yeah, I mean, it was one of the best feelings I've had in UFC watching for this long. Yeah, I mean, he just looked unbeatable, except for a couple moments that were a little bit shaky. But he got through the adversity.
How nerve-wracking was that fight, Tom? How nerve-wracking was that fight? I mean, like...
Yeah, I couldn't watch it in the 4th round. Like, my body wouldn't let me.
I remember saying to you at the time, I hadn't been that nervous watching a fight since Izzy Pereira 2. That was like that type of level of nerves, sitting there watching that fight. You couldn't really watch, especially when he got dropped in that second round.
yeah, dude. Oh.
Man, the nightmares came flooding back, but
Yeah.
how good that he remained strong. Regained the title. He beat Diego Lopez at his own game. Stood up with him, threw hands with him.
Yep.
Didn't really go to the ground a lot.
Just a
an amazing
stand-up
moment.
monster.
And also one of the greatest post-fight speeches I think I've ever heard. Like that shit made you want to run through a brick wall.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We love Volk for that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, bro. Do you want to give me your number 2?
Yeah. Since that was a unanimous number 1. My number 2 for this year is New Zealand All Whites qualifying for the World Cup in 2026. So, Pucky.
How good.
Let's give it up for New Zealand football. I mean, some would say our qualifying to the World Cup was easier than most, but we've been put in shit situations for decades, having to qualify against Australia and Japan and teams like that caliber, when we are just nowhere on that level. And we haven't been to the World Cup since 2010, where we went unbeaten, but it wasn't enough to make it through to the round of 16. But, who knows? I mean,
Stranger things have happened, my friend.
Exactly. When we whooped some of these teams in the qualifying, so a couple notable ones. New Zealand 8-1 against Vanuatu, 8-0 against Samoa. The semi-final in Wellington was 7-0 to Fiji. I went to that game. It was pretty cool. Chris Wood got a hat trick of headers, and he came into the stands to take photos with some of the boys in the crowd, and he was like 10 meters away from me. He got absolutely swarmed, as you could imagine, but that was pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then
nice, man.
a nice solid 3-0 win against New Caledonia in the final. So, yeah, I mean, New Zealand's back in the World Cup. Can't get much more exciting, World Cup stuff. So, how good?
How good?
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you.
Yeah,
I'll give you
your
my
number two.
So my number two is just an absolute feel-good moment for me. It's not necessarily an achievement that's going to blow your socks off, but Peyton Pritchard, he won the Sixth Man of the Year award this year in the NBA.
Let's give it up for
My
Pete
dog.
Pritch.
My dog. Pritch better have my money, because this man was money this year from three. An NBA record, 246 threes off the bench. He played 80 games this year, and he only started in three, so that is a true six-man.
Yeah, true six-man.
Shooting percentage-wise, he was 40 from the three, he was 47 from the field, and he was 85 from the free throw line, making him the closest man to the prestigious 40, 50, 90 season in the NBA this year. So a very impressive performance shooting the basketball, and absolutely insane efficiency with the ball in hand. Only one turnover a game this season.
Yeah, that's a crazy stat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well
especially
done,
the amount
Peyton
he handles
Pritchard.
the rock when he's on the court. That is an insane stat.
Yeah, balls
Well
in
done
his
to my
hands
dog.
a lot, and one turnover a game with how much he has a play in the offense is very impressive. Absolutely.
Cool, man. All right, let's hear your number three.
Yeah, my last one is also a feel good for myself, and that's McLaren Racing Team in Formula One having such a dominant start to the season, and I mean especially now, being this far in, Oscar Piastri is looking like the best driver on the grid by a landslide. I mean, what more can I say? We've had every single win bar one, which was Max Verstappen. I mean, the last time we had a driver's champion was Lewis Hamilton in 2008. So it's been a while, and it's been a long time coming. And I mean, as a McLaren fan who has been watching since the mid to late 2010s, yeah, I haven't seen much success from this team. So it's nice to be winning, finally.
Yeah.
Finally. Yeah. So shout out
No,
McLaren.
I've been super, super impressed, man, with McLaren this year. I think Oscar Piastri, obviously.
Yeah.
Insane, man. Insane.
Yeah, an
That dude
incredible
is
driver.
A babyface assassin. Just nothing seems to phase him. No, he's got that killer instinct, man. I really like him.
Yeah. Me too. And as much as I love Lando, I've been a massive Lando fanboy for many years. It's just nice to see us have such a dominant 1-2 in our lineup. So, yeah.
Yep.
Let's hope to see this going. Absolutely. And your number three.
Cool. So my number three is a sport that I am absolutely teats at. But anyway, we'll move on. I can't play golf to save my life, but my God, Rory McIlroy can. Rory McIlroy won his Masters finally, completing his Grand Slam in golf. How good was that? I mean, a very emotional, feel-good moment again, I guess, for everyone who likes sport. First Grand Slam champion in 25 years.
Yeah, that's
since
crazy.
2000. He's only the 6th man ever to complete the Golf Grand Slam, and the first European to do it. And obviously a hell of a performance under pressure going into that sudden death playoff hole against Justin Rose and hitting a birdie. Just
to win it.
Crazy performance under pressure to win it. So that was that's my number 3.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the moment when he knew that he'd won it and he dropped to his knees on the green, that was a pretty cool moment. There was a pretty cool photo that came from that as well. So yeah, shout out to Rory. That was really cool.
I did see a lot of funny videos that people had bets on Rory crying when he won, or whoever won the Masters. Had bets on a parlay on the winner crying.
I want to find these websites, man. If anyone's got a good website where I can bet on crap like that, send them my way.
Oh, brother, I think you might get we might have problems. We might get gambling problems.
Yeah, we might. Yeah.
Anyway, what's your number 3, bro?
I've already done my number 3, brother.
Oh, you have? My bad.
That's all good. But yeah, our main topic for today, obviously, as I said in our intro, we will be talking about the NBA playoffs and mainly the second round and kind of what we've seen from the first 4 games, or 3 games, I should say. So yeah, before we start, I just want to ask if there have been any major second round playoff surprises for you.
For me, the surprise has been with my own team. It's been a very awful surprise, I think.
That's understandable.
We can probably chop up some clips and throw in here all the shit I was talking about how good we were in the first episode we filmed.
Yeah, let me throw it back.
This is before obviously the New York Knicks series started, and I was feeling very good about the boys. And
so was I, to be fair.
Yeah, it was valid. But then 2 games in, I was served a massive slice of humble pie. Yeah, not a nice feeling to see your own team trying to defend their title go down 0-2 in the second round. Never a good feeling. But the biggest surprise to me is how we are down 0-2. The fact that we were up 20 in both games.
And then
throw it away in the fashion that we do. And watching game 3 this morning, a stat popped up on the screen where it showed the minutes of the Celtics leading the series compared to the Knicks, and it was like 81 as opposed to 12 minutes for the Knicks leading the game in the series.
Yeah, that can't
happen. And they've won both games.
Yeah, and that
is just outrageous.
Yeah,
like outrageous.
They pretty much
I couldn't believe
won every single game from the tip to about 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and then they weren't able to close those 2 games. But it was just their shooting. You know, it's a make or miss league, as they all say. And this is just the reality of what happens when you don't hit those shots.
Especially with the Celtics. I mean, I've talked to you about this ad nauseum, but we, more than any other team in the league, live and die by the 3-point shot. And when we do have a bad night, we are probably going to lose the game. But in saying that, game 3, we do hit our shots, and look what happens.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
The Knicks never looked like they had an ounce of momentum in that game. The crowd was dead silent.
Yeah,
from
they were
tip
quiet
to end.
The whole game. Yeah, I saw some post on Instagram, and it was basically the only people that were excited out of anyone close to the court was J.R. Smith and Timothée Chalamet. They were the
Ben
only
Stiller
ones
was getting hype, but
apart from that, haven't heard the Garden that quiet in a long time, for sure. And I think people just knew, like, okay, Boston's hitting their shots today. I don't think we're gonna win this. And
there was a shot where they showed Spike Lee, and he was just like, head in hands, and I think it was when Peyton Pritchard had just walked into a 30-footer
Yep.
and swished it. It was a real crowd killer, and I think that was the moment I knew we'd won the game. It was at the start of the fourth, something like that.
Yeah.
But so good to see, man.
Yeah. Well,
The boys walk in there and silence the garden.
Yeah, for sure. We'll talk a little bit more about that series in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But,
What about you? You got a surprise?
Yeah, my surprise has been, I guess, just one player. There's been a lot of surprises, but, like Tyrese Halliburton performing so well, that is not a surprise to me
No.
at all.
That's a bad man, people. That is
yeah.
a bad man.
Watch out for him.
Always has been too.
But the person who's surprised me the most has been Aaron Gordon. Not in terms of he's always been good on his years in Orlando, and he's a champion. You can't take that away from him. But just how clutch he has been throughout these whole playoffs is something that I don't think anyone was expecting. He's hit 2 game winners. One against the Clippers, which was a buzzer beater dunk, and then one against OKC, which was a go-ahead 3. And then in this game 3, they would have lost, but he hit a really clutch shot from the corner, which sent it to overtime, and then he got the stop on the defensive end to allow them to go into overtime. But yeah, man, like he has been balling these playoffs.
You know, I think for Aaron Gordon, it's like he is no longer, to me, just a really good role player. He's sort of transcended his role into making Denver have almost like a big 3, right? Like we could look at Murray, Gordon, and Jokic and say that's a big 3.
Yeah,
Aaron Gordon is playing at that level.
Yeah,
he's not just a role player anymore. I think he's turning into a star.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And yeah, like we saw glimpses of that in 23 when they won. But he just looks like he's getting better and better and better. Of course, I think that's like a direct correlation from playing with Nikola Jokic. I think anyone would get better at basketball playing with that man. But it's coming through and it's showing in his play this postseason. So shout out AG.
Yep.
He's been a monster. But let's get into the first series. I'd like your takes on this, on Cleveland and Indiana.
Well, again, this could be something you could talk about as a surprise, but Indiana's form as a whole, maybe not like Tyrese Halliburton, we know he's a stud, but the Indiana Pacers as a whole, how clinical they have played, and obviously taking a 2-0 series away from the number 1 seed in the East.
Yeah.
Like, crazy. This whole playoffs has had so many twists and turns. It's been unreal. But game 3, we saw the arrival of superstar Donovan Mitchell, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
That was a scary performance.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I don't know how comfortable I'd be feeling as a Pacers fan after that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. And I'd be feeling okay if I was a Cleveland fan. Because they had, in game 2, they didn't have Evan Mobley or DeAndre Hunter. And in those first 2 games, they didn't have Darius Garland either. So in game 3, they got all 3 of those boys back. And they kind of put them to bed a little bit. But yeah, as you say with Donovan Mitchell, like, he is turning into an absolute stud. I mean, he always has been. But I think he's showing this year that he can lead a team and he has the potential to lead them deep in the playoffs. I've got some stats for you about Donovan Mitchell. He is actually 5th all-time in playoff points per game.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he'd be a
Crazy.
sneaky player. Like, he's actually probably played a lot of playoff games when I think about it.
Yeah, well, he played a lot of playoffs with the
Just
Jazz.
as an individual. Yeah.
Yep. And he
And
was their
probably
main
right
guy
away
on
from
that
his
team
rookie
too.
year.
Yeah. He's also third most for 50-point playoff games.
Wow.
But obviously, the thing with him is that he hasn't got past the second round with a team. So will that change this year?
Did he get all those 50-point playoff games in the bubble in the series against the Nuggets?
See, I don't actually have that here, but that's not a bad
'Cause
shout. I
that
think he definitely
series,
could have.
If you're a recent NBA fan and you haven't seen that series, you need to go and watch the highlights. The Jazz and the Nuggets in the bubble, because that was fireworks.
Yep.
Anyway,
I made a lot of money off the
Nuggets.
Nuggets in that playoff
Yes.
series. Because the
I wanna quickly talk
Nuggets
about
were down
the,
3-1. Sorry.
Yeah, they were. Oh, no, it's all good, bro. I want to quickly talk about the Pacers for a second, because they are a starry team to me. They are not a team of stars. They are just a well-oiled machine that plays at like electric pace. My ex-Celtic Aaron Neesmith in the playoffs, man, that guy turns into an absolute stud.
He's
And
a demon in the
it's
playoffs, eh?
It's not shooting that he does it with either, because when he was on the Celtics, he was advertised as a really good shooter, possibly the best in his draft class. And then he was pretty lackluster for us. But since he's gone to the Pacers, he has electrified that team.
Yeah.
One of the best 3-and-D, not 3-and-D, two-way role players left in the playoffs for sure.
Yep. Absolutely.
The athleticism and the pace, the defense, it's unbelievable. And then you pair that with a guy like Andrew Nembhard, who is
my favorite player on Indiana.
Yeah, he is scary, man. He is a dark horse in this playoffs, especially in
some
the
of
Eastern
the
Conference.
shots that Andrew Nembhard takes and makes are just ridiculous. Like,
Yep.
pull up fadeaways from 30 feet, and he'll just drain them like it's nothing.
I have heard someone compare him to, he's like a bootleg Shea, which is, bootleg's a bit of a harsh word, but just like a slightly worse version of Shea, and you have Andrew Nembhard. I think is a pretty accurate comparison. So there's obviously a lot of potential to unlock there for the Pacers, but and I also think their ability to also play the double big lineup with Siakam and Miles Turner on the court at the same time really helps. And those two are also very athletic. So it's just such a well-oiled machine to me.
I think
as a Celtics fan, I'm honestly not fussed who comes out of that series. They both are scary to me.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard
They both pose a
matchup
threat.
regardless of who comes out of that series for either the Celtics or the Knicks. But my
be too
key
confident,
for
can I?
Indiana, I think, is Pascal Siakam, because he, again, is a champion and he needs to play like it. He needs to show up and sometimes demand the ball and just go and take over. I know they've got Tyrese and he's the man, but when he's off the floor and when Tyrese passes it to Pascal, he needs to go and score, and he needs to be more assertive if they want to go and beat Cleveland.
Do you think
that
that Pascal needs to play like the Robin he did on the Raptors when they won the championship, or do you need him to be the number one option?
No, I need him to be what he was to Kawhi. Yeah. Because Tyrese is always going to be that guy on Indiana, and no one else is going to even rival him for that. So,
for sure.
Yeah. Pascal, he needs to play like the all-star that he always has been. And, with this Cleveland double big lineup back with Mobley and Allen, he needs to be a bit more aggressive, for sure.
Yeah, I think his role is especially important on defense. I know you think back to the year that the Raptors won the championship and the conference finals that year they played Milwaukee, and Pascal was key in building that Giannis wall that was so huge at the time.
Yeah.
So his defense against the double big is going to be absolutely huge for him.
Yep.
But
Absolutely.
I think this series is going 7 games, man. How about you?
Yeah, I think Cleveland gets the next one, and then I think they get the one after that, maybe game 5. But yeah, I think Indiana will probably win game 6, and then it's all up in arms game 7.
Yeah, I think I agree with you.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it'll play out. But in saying that, the Cavs are good enough to just go and win 4 straight after going down 2-0, which actually isn't as uncommon as you'd think. There are a lot of examples of series where teams go down 2-0 and then win 4 straight. It actually happens a fair bit. That happened in 2011 when the Heat lost.
Have you got a stat up for that?
This is off the top of the dome, bro. If you can fact check me and tell me I'm wrong, I'll give you $5.
Yeah, go
each
on.
one I'm wrong. So it happened in 11 in the Heat. I'm positive it happened to the Phoenix Suns in 21.
Yeah, it happened in the finals.
Yeah, it definitely have. Yeah, they went up 2-0. Check me on those two. I'm pretty sure it even happened to the Heat in 06 as well. They went down 0-2 and came back against the Mavs when D Wade and Shaq were together.
It did. 2006 Heat down 2-0 in the finals against the Mavericks. Came back and won. There are actually a lot. Well, I'm looking at this. There are a lot, especially in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Last year, the Pacers did it to the Kings. The Warriors did it to the Kings.
The Pacers did it to the Kings.
Oh, the Pacers did it to the Knicks. Sorry. My bad. Yeah, the Pacers did it to the Knicks. The Warriors in 23 did it to the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
The Mavericks did it to the Suns in 22. That was the Chris Paul cuts the lead to 43 series.
Yeah.
And then, the Suns back-to-back years. That's how they went out. That's sad.
Oh, man. So anyway, we can move on to the other series that is also, we had that same scenario. Celtics went down 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
Well, give me your thoughts, bro. I'm really interested to hear your unbiased thoughts on this series, obviously.
Yeah,
being a Celtics fan, there's a lot of feeling involved.
Yeah. Obviously, the Celtics are a good enough team to win this series. I think, I've been always a bit iffy about their live by the 3, die by the 3 kind of way of play. Obviously, the Warriors are like the originator of the 3 play, but, we've always kind of had guys that like going to the rim or at least have a little mid-range game. And I actually think Tatum and Brown are really effective in that mid-range, and especially Brown getting to the rim. I think he's one of the best in the league at it, and they don't do it enough. I found today when I was watching Game 3 that Brown was actually having a lot of success getting to the rim and just driving, and especially when Cat came off, he was going at Mitchell Robinson's chest. And I liked that. And they were really effective at it. But then they'd just go back to Al Horford chucking up a couple threes over Cat, or I don't know. But they were hitting their threes today. Like, they were 50%. I think they were 20 from 40 from 3, which is pretty good. But
that's very good.
Yeah, very
50%
good.
as a team. That's insane.
Yeah. And that's what we're talking about. Like, in game 1 and 2, they're going like 8 from 48 or some ridiculous,
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
that's just hucking threes at that point, and you're not going to
Well,
win
in
games
game
doing
2,
that.
it was an NBA record, 45 missed threes,
Yeah,
and the Knicks
like
only win the game by 1 point.
if a couple of those shots, you just drive in, hit a little jab step, pull up. Maybe you might see a couple more go through, but 45 missed threes is just, I don't know, man.
The reason I
I don't like it.
I remain confident is because in that game where we missed 45 threes, I don't know the exact stat, but so many of them were open. Like, it's not like we were just biffing up contested fadeaway threes.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
were open set shots that we were just straight up bricking. So in the NBA today, no coach is going to get angry at you for shooting an open three.
No, not at all.
So they were, you know, we missed a lot of great shots. That's why I remain confident, and that's why game 3 kind of proved when we hit our shots, we're almost unbeatable because, like I said earlier, there was not an ounce of momentum in that game for the Knicks. Genuinely, it was so dominant. The score doesn't even reflect. What was it, a 23-point win, I believe?
Yeah, and it was like 20 points
22 points
from the second quarter the whole way through to the end of the game. So it was pretty comfortable, you know, which is what you guys needed.
There was a bit of cat and mouse at the end of the game with Joe Mazzulla and Tom Thibodeau kind of not wanting to be the first ones to pull their starters out. It was quite funny.
Yeah, I noticed.
Like Tom Thibodeau was just
commentating?
keeping his starters in for the intimidation factor, hoping that maybe one of our boys got hurt, but they could have pulled the starters so much earlier than they did.
Yeah, I thought so too. I can't remember which commentator it was, but they were like, there's 2.5 minutes to go in this game, and every single starter from both sides is still in this game. Like, what is going on?
So, yeah, clearly it's never over, man. Well,
yeah.
I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Yeah, that's true. And I've got to give credit to the Knicks, just the heart and hustle of their team to even come back 20 points down in the third and fourth. That's got to take some balls, and that's got to take a lot of belief, and especially from players like Brunson just taking over, Mikal Bridges making some incredible defensive plays, and, you know, players like OG, again, a champion, got to put that out there, coming up big offensively. Because, you know, they wouldn't have won game 2 without OG.
No, for sure. And I like what you mentioned about about Mikal and OG. Like, their defense is what they rally off. Whenever they went on runs, it was off big stops. They would always.
And that's what they got Mikal for.
In transition. Yeah. 100%. To beat the Celtics, you need 2 big wing defenders, and they have it. So on defense, they kind of have the perfect formula to beat us. But the offensive firepower might not be there if we're hitting threes at the click we did in game 3. So it'll be a very interesting remainder of the series.
I've got a question for you.
Fire away.
Is it title or bust for Boston this year?
Right. So we start venturing into a bit of discourse here. But
no, I'm not like saying that it is, but I want your opinion.
Do I think we should win the title this year? Yes. I believe we have the team to do it. But is it a bust if we don't? To be honest, bro, I know you've heard me speaking about next year a little bit. And it's not because we went down 0-2 and I was giving up.
I think you just got in your feels a little bit.
No, hear me out. There is a huge luxury tax bill waiting for the Boston Celtics owners next year. Like, it is massive. And I don't think they're going to be willing to pay it, considering they just brought the organization recently. It's almost like they're going to be breaking even if they pay this luxury tax bill. Genuinely. It's that expensive.
Well,
So I don't think there's actually room to keep our roster together next year. So if we win the title or we don't, I think there's going to be big moves in Boston this off season for sure. So if we don't lose, is it a bust? I think the NBA world would see it as a bust, but I don't think that would be our era as a championship contender over, if that makes sense.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think as long as you guys have Jason and Jalen,
Yep.
I think you're fine.
Yeah, 100%. As long as we keep those two together, that's all
Yep.
that really matters to me. Yeah, I think at the moment the most expendable players on the team are probably Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. I think they are the two most expendable players because their contracts are so expensive and they're older, less valuable members of the team to me.
That's
And you could
understandable.
probably get
As much as you
packaging them together, you could probably get a pretty good player in return for that. So, yeah.
And as much as I know you value Drew and you love Drew, I think with Peyton Pritchard coming up so big in the last couple years, Derek White still being so solid. Yeah, I mean, who knows? It was just nice to get your opinion on that.
A thought just popped into my brain right now, and I have no idea if this would even work. But man, what if we package a deal to the Grizzlies and get Triple J and Marcus Smart?
You just want Marcus Smart back.
I just want Marcus Smart back, and Triple J would be a great piece.
Yeah,
on the
absolutely. But I know you just
I wonder
want
if
Marcus
there's a
Smart.
package we could deal to Memphis. I want Marcus Smart back so bad.
Yeah, I know you do. Try and win him a chip.
For sure. All right, man.
Right. Moving on to the
let's hear
West.
from you about the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Denver Nuggets. This is a crazy series.
Yeah, I think you can agree with me. This is the most unexpected first three games from these series so far. Like, electric basketball. Game 2, I mean, the Thunder won by 43 points. But from what we've seen, when it's a close game, the Thunder don't really know how to close these games out. And that just comes from experience. You know, all these Denver boys, they're champions from 2 years ago. So they've been here. They know what to do. And especially, like, you know, as I said earlier in the pod, Aaron Gordon hitting that shot to take that game into overtime. As soon as overtime started, you could just see the mentality difference where Denver just said, all right, let's go and win this game. We know what to do. We know our defensive rotations. We know who to give the ball to in offense. And, you know, Jamal Murray just said, give me the ball. Jokic said, get the fuck out the way. And a lot of these guys actually came up big in defense. Like, I got to give credit to Michael Porter. He had like 22 in that game on a shoulder that is almost, you know, he gets injection shots on his shoulder before every game so he can play. You know, that's the mentality that you need. And
Can I give a quick shout out to Peyton Watson?
Yes.
That block. Oh,
Yes.
my God.
Bro, he's gone
my
under
God,
the radar
dude.
this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's an athlete. He is a certified athlete.
If you guys don't know
And-
what we're talking about, we're referring to Peyton Watson packing Chet Holmgren. I don't know how tall Peyton Watson is, but Chet Holmgren is 7'2", something like that. Can you fact check this? How tall is Peyton Watson?
He's 2 meters. Sorry for you.
I bet
people who do it
you
in feet.
Chet's like 230 something, bro.
He's 6'7".
Yeah, there you go. So a
Yeah.
6'7" man blocking a 7'2" center, just packing him at the rim when he was going for a 2-hand jam. That's pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
that was probably my favorite play of the game. To be fair, And I also want to give out the shout out to Russ, man. Like,
Yep.
Russ has been so instrumental in this team, and sometimes not even on the court. Like, I don't know if you saw the clip. It was in overtime, and they went up 5 points, and OKC took a quick timeout, and they all sat down, and then Russ sat in the coaching seat and just started yapping at everyone. I mean, like, I really like to see that, man. Like, Russ taking the charge on just being a vet and giving people advice and letting people know what they're doing right and wrong. And then when he does go out on the floor, he just gives straight heart and hustle. And yeah, I love it, man.
It's super nice to see Russell Westbrook kind of being embraced by a franchise for once. Like, over the last sort of 3 or 4 years, kind of everywhere he goes, the fan base is sort of sick of him within a few months, you know?
Yeah.
Feels like
Lakers fans hated him.
Yep.
Clippers fans hated him.
Rockets fans. Yeah.
And now
Washington,
Denver.
I think Washington liked him, but...
Yeah, but that's because they didn't go anywhere. And
Denver has completely embraced Russell Westbrook. They love him through the good and the bad, which there is a lot of both. But I love Russell Westbrook. I'm so happy that he is playing well and in a place that embraces him. So, yeah.
Yeah, no Russ slander on this podcast, people.
No, we steer clear of that. But hear me out, bro. Nuggets in 7. What do you think?
If the games stay close, I'm taking Nuggets in 6.
Damn.
I can't... Hang on, let's flip back quickly to our predictions. Yeah, I can't remember what I said, but I mean, in these close games, the Thunder just look like they don't know what they're doing. And taking it back to game 1, when Chet Holmgren missed those 2 free throws, he looked like he was shaking at the free throw line, like before he took those free throws. He was nervous, man.
Yeah. The moment felt a bit too real for him, didn't it?
I think so.
It was like, I don't know, you hear athletes talk about that there's some things you just can't train for, and maybe that's one of those things, you know?
Yeah. But that's something he's going to learn from. Like, absolutely. That's just experience building. But, you know, when you're playing a team that has won a championship with the core that are the same, it's those little things that start eating up over the course of 7 games. And
for sure.
Yeah, the Nuggets are definitely playing this as a chess match, for sure. But yeah, I want to give a shout out to Jalen Williams, J-Dub. He's stepped up massively in this series, and I love watching him play, bro. Like, J-Dub's definitely my favorite player on the Thunder. Yeah.
Fair enough. He brings a lot of charisma, enthusiasm, very likable personality. I think he's got a bright future as a star in the league.
Yeah.
Like you say,
definitely a deserved all-star this year, for sure.
Yes, 100%. Right, shall we move on to your Warriors?
No.
Hey man, look.
Steph Curry, take my hamstring. You can have it, please.
I've got to say, Game 3 today was a valiant effort from the Warriors.
Yeah. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Kuminga. I want to give a shout out to Jonathan Kuminga.
Mm-hmm.
He sat on the bench for so long because he was unplayable, and then I think he's just relearned how to play basketball. But some of the shots he was hitting today and some of the layups he was hitting over Gobert, he took it to the rim hard. He was efficient from the free throw line. Yeah. Kuminga was good, man. But, man, this team is different without Steph Curry.
I've been quite harsh on Kuminga to you, haven't I, over the last little while?
You've been chirping in my ear about Kuminga. Oh, you guys can get a really good trade package for Kuminga.
Well,
we probably could. We definitely can. Yeah, I'm not.
As soon as you guys got Jimmy Butler, I was just like, trade Kuminga, dude. He's had his time. to turn into the star that you think he is, trade him. But I'll give him credit. He's shown some value.
He came through
especially in
big
this
today.
series.
Yeah.
Yep. I was a little bit left wanting a bit more from Jimmy Butler.
Yeah,
thought.
well, he played really well for 3 quarters and 4 minutes. He played some of the best basketball I've seen him play in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went scoreless in the last 8 minutes of the game today, which is
Yep. That just can't happen, eh?
just can't happen. You can't win a basketball game when your best player is scoreless in the last 8 minutes. You know, we were up by 5 with like 6 minutes to go, and I thought we were going to put our foot down, and then Draymond fouled out. Jimmy stopped scoring. Pods had a bad game, and we just let them creep in.
And they didn't beat you by too much. It was a
It was a 5-point
a
game.
close game all the way through. 5 points.
Yeah.
So I think the Warriors and the Warriors fans should remain pretty optimistic, to be honest. Worst case scenario, you're going to be down 3-1 when Steph Curry comes back, right?
He might not be back for game 5. They're saying probably earliest is game 6. That's why I'm so worried. And that's why I'm praying.
Well,
Take my hamstring.
then in that case, the series is going to be dependent on...
Everything, your all thoughts just went out the window. You're like, oh
In that
shit.
case, I think-
okay, maybe it's worse than I thought.
Maybe. And what I want to say is, in that case, then the series is completely dependent on you guys stealing a win without Steph.
And that's game
gotta get
4.
one.
That's next game.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't
At
win
home.
game 4,
Yep.
we're fucked.
Yep.
But on a trying to be unbiased Minnesota side, shout out to Julius Randle. He's playing his socks off, man. Like,
Yep.
I've never seen him play this hard in his whole career.
Can I just pose a question to you?
Yeah.
Do you think that the Knicks and the Wolves are better off with, you just picture like how Randall and Cat are playing right now, and you just swap them back? Those teams would be great. Both of them would still be great.
Yeah, if Randall was playing on the Knicks like he is on the Timberwolves, that Knicks team is still incredible.
Yeah, it's almost like I don't want to say it would be better. It just feels like they're better suited to the teams they used to play for. I don't know why that thought just came into my head, but
No, I still think Karl-Anthony Towns is the better player. And I still think
absolutely.
the Knicks are better with Cat, and I think Minnesota's better with Cat.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I think Minnesota would be pantsing us if they had Karl-Anthony Towns in this series. Like, these games wouldn't be close.
Mm-hmm. But then you could say the Celtics would be struggling if the Knicks had DiVincenzo, right? So it's
I still
tricky
wish the
poison.
Warriors had DiVincenzo. I'm so sad we gave him away. But yeah, man.
But anyway,
my thoughts,
what do you
Jimmy
think?
needs to take over. Draymond needs to stay out of foul trouble. And he's like 2 techs off a suspension and 2 flagrant ones off a suspension. He just needs to chill the fuck out, man.
So let's talk about Steph's injury a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you think they do, man? Because if it's a hamstring injury, can they bring him back early and use him as a cone? Like use
No.
him as a complete decoy?
Nah, because his whole play style is reliant off ball movement.
Yeah.
That's Steph Curry to a T. He doesn't play well standing as a cone because his whole thing is drawing defenders away from people because of how his shooting ability and his ability to sprint around the court getting open. And when you bring him back as a cone, like, that's not going to scare anyone. Ant's going to be licking his lips. Nas Reed is, Julius Randle, all these guys, they're not going to be intimidated by that. So,
No, fair enough.
and hamstrings are scary, man. You can't push that stuff.
No, I've done a bad hammy injury before, and it's not fun.
Yeah, and we have
But
seen people
anyway.
in sports have a hamstring injury, try and come back quickly, and then they just re-injure themselves.
Chris Paul 2018.
Yeah. Yeah, prime example. And I don't want to see Steph Curry come back and get super hurt and then his off-season screwed. And our prep for next year is, delayed.
Yeah, dude. No, cool. Let's make some predictions and have a chat about the upcoming Game 4s.
Yep.
Tomorrow we've got Thunder at Nuggets and Cavs at Pacers.
Dude, this is like... See, I know the Warriors and Celtics play on the same day, but that just gives me anxiety. So these games where the Warriors don't play, and for you, the Celtics don't play, it's like I just get to watch some unbiased, amazing basketball from these two series.
We've got the barn burners on one day and then the heartbreakers on the next day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like this. My emotions are just all over the place. But yeah, you go first.
Nah, cool. I think so. Thunder at Nuggets. I'm predicting another Denver win here. I think they're going to take a commanding 3-1 lead in the series. I think they do it off the back of another huge Jokic game. I'm predicting another 20 rebound, 40
point, 20
night.
rebound.
Yeah, I'm feeling another huge Jokic night.
Okay.
I heard someone say that this Denver OKC series feels like a Jokic legacy series. If he pulls this off and averages close to 40 and 20 like he is, that is a huge legacy series for someone who's already got 3 MVPs, a championship, to pull off that against the first seed. Huge.
Yeah, massive. And I think he's sick of people doubting him as the MVP.
He
I think
does.
he's
He's
sick of
got a
people-
different energy about him this year.
Yeah,
He
absolutely.
cares, and he cares, and that's scary.
Yeah, you can see it. It's all
Yeah.
rip shit and bust. He doesn't give a crap. He just wants to go and prove people wrong, and he wants to play some amazing basketball. And I think that's vibrating through the team.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. That one's hard to predict.
Yeah.
I think I'll say Nuggets. Because they play so well at home, and their role players play so well in Denver.
Absolutely. What do you reckon about the Cavs and Pacers?
Yeah, I got the Cavs. I saw how they played in Game 3 as a full squad, everyone together, and they looked pretty scary against Indiana. And the Pacers didn't have much to answer for it. I know Donovan Mitchell had a huge game, but he's always going to have a huge game. That's just the player he is. That's the way the team plays. And I feel like Donovan thinks that this is all on his back, He's taking charge. He has to go and be the man. And yeah, it's just going to be another game, another huge game for him. And the rest of the team's going to follow. So I see that series getting tied up.
I see the Pacers going up 3-1.
Okay.
I see another fucking plot twist coming. I see another one coming. I still think this series probably goes 7 games. Don't get me wrong. But Indiana, man, I'm just so...
Yeah.
Hey, we'll come back to this. But I think, I think Indiana are going to win. They're going to steal one. Well, it's not really stealing one, is it? But like, let's
it's
say
not.
let's say
'Cause
steal the
it's at
momentum
Indiana.
back. They're going to steal the momentum back in the series. They're going to get one at home.
Yeah.
And then I think after that they'll probably get pants the rest of the way. But
Okay.
like,
So I was, because you were like,
can't see
I've got
Cleveland
the
not
Cavs in
winning
7.
the series. Yeah.
And I was like, but if you see them going up 3-1, I don't. Yeah. But anyway. Okay.
Yeah. I just again this whole playoff year has been like this, and I think it's going to carry on. So yes, probably do have Cavs in 7, but another plot twist is coming. I see a 3-1 lead for the Cavs to overcome behind just a clinical team game of basketball. I don't think that anyone on the Pacers is going to necessarily go off. I just think everyone's going to have 10 to 20 points, on the 8-man rotation, and it'll just be a clinical team win.
Another disgusting what the hell-y moment. Potentially.
He just loves that, bro. He was so gassed when he heard that name drop.
He posted it on his Instagram story the day that it came out.
What the hell, Bert?
What the hell? What the hell-y? I bumped that song a lot too, to be fair. Yeah.
No.
You
cool.
and
All right.
Celtics, Knicks?
Yeah, well, obviously, I think
You got to be confident, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be pretty hard momentum to break, bro. That was you could just see that the people who knew what was going on in the arena were just like, oh, fuck. We let them have it. We let them get a taste of it.
Yeah, you could see it.
We didn't put them away,
Yeah.
It's like what we were talking about just yesterday before the game. We said that Game 3 is a must-win for the Knicks.
Yeah.
Which sounds so weird when you're 0-2 up.
Yeah, there's
But
not many
the
teams
Celtics-
or series that you can sit there and say, oh, they're up 2-0. Game 3 is a must-win for them. But I think anyone playing a team as good as the Celtics, that Game 3 is a must-win.
And the Celtics team is the same team that nearly pulled back an 0-3 deficit against the Heat a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So we are capable of pulling ourselves out of deep holes. So
Pause.
letting us get that type of performance, there's letting us get a game, and then there's letting us play like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's different. And I think the momentum is going to be too hard to kill for them. If I'm making a prediction, I think we win the next 4 games and close it out in 6.
Next 3 games.
Sorry, next 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Celtics have now seen the ball go through the rim a lot, and that does wonders for confidence. So, yeah, I'll take the Celtics tomorrow as well. Yeah. Oh no.
Do you think it's going to be? Do you think
What
it's
is
going to
it?
be a
Tuesday?
Yeah, it's on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to be the type of Celtics win where we just rain threes, or is it going to be a Jason Tatum 40 ball? Jaylen Brown going to go off? What do you say?
Yeah. No. I got Brown going off, I think, because I don't know, he had a look in his eyes this morning. He looked dangerous. So yeah, I think that might carry over. Tatum's always going to play well. I don't, like a 25 to 30 piece from Tatum, that's not surprising, and that's not him having a big game. So I think Brown will probably get close to 30 tomorrow, if not over.
Yep. I think if I had to make a prediction, I am waiting on the Peyton Pritchard playoff explosion.
Well,
I thought it was coming
these 3
today.
games, he's averaging like 15 points.
No. I'm talking about like a 30-40 ball from Peyton Pritchard.
I don't think that's
off the
coming.
bench. Dude, what did he score today? What did he score today? because I'm pretty sure, was in the 20s. It felt like he was going to go crazy in the first half. He scored 23 points today. I'm waiting
high scorer on the team.
I'm waiting for the Peyton Pritchard explosion in the playoffs, and I feel like after this game that momentum might carry over, and I see a 30 ball from Peyton Pritchard and a great team.
Yeah, he shot 50% today.
Yeah, dude. And they were deep shots too. He was taking some tough ones.
Yeah, some of them were very tough shots, for sure.
But yeah, that'd have to be my prediction. We win on a Peyton Pritchard masterclass.
I like that. And then, Timberwolves, Warriors. I mean, I got to be confident as well. I know we don't have Steph, but in the 3 and a bit quarters that, Jimmy was playing well, we looked like we were going to win that game. And I think Jimmy's going to come out Tuesday. Sorry, I keep getting my days mixed up. I think he's going to come back and want to win that game. Like, he's going to will them to a win. And the Wolves aren't shooting amazing in these playoffs, actually. They're not shooting that great. So, if we have a chance, it's going to be next game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I think your team is too good to count out, even without Steph Curry, just purely based on experience. You do have a guy called Jimmy Butler there who only a couple of years ago looked like prime motherfucking Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Playing for the Miami Heat in that playoff run to the finals against the Nuggets. So you need playoff Jimmy. You need DPOY Draymond Green.
Yeah.
And
who doesn't foul out with 6.5 minutes to go.
Yes, exactly. And you need your role players to step up. You need come bucket.
Yeah, we need the come bucket. And we need another big game from Buddy Hield. Like, he's shown us that he can step up in these big moments. And he didn't really do that today.
Mm.
We're going through the cycle again. The Buddy Hield cycle.
Yeah.
Of plays well. We think he's going to do amazing. Does shit.
It did puzzle me after the Game 7 when Draymond came out and was like, oh, man, there was just something different about Buddy's energy. And he came into the locker room uber focused today. And I did think, like, surely that would be every game for every player.
Yeah, you'd hope so.
Of the season. You would hope so, right? Like,
yeah,
I'd be pretty pissy if I heard the Celtics were coming into the locker room like, no, not really feeling ready to go. It's only game 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would hope that they're like that every game. So that's gonna be key for you guys for sure. Yeah. Buddy
and
Hield
also,
he's a former All-Star.
Yeah, and also I hope Pods doesn't go 1 from 10 on Tuesday either.
That'd be nice, man. That'd be nice.
Yeah, but I mean, as I said earlier, shout out to Kuminga. He went. Let's get this box score up. Yeah, so he shot 11 from 18 for 61% for 30 points. Damn. We're gonna need people like that if we're gonna want to push this series out to wait for Steph to come back. And that's just how it's gonna be.
Absolutely, man. Right on. That is the playoffs up to date.
Yeah, I'm so excited, man, for the rest of these playoffs. I am fizzing.
It hasn't felt this good in a long time, eh?
Nah.
I mean,
and
it felt pretty good for me last year, but if I was looking at it from an unbiased perspective, it was a pretty boring playoff year as a whole. It was just nice because my team won, but no, super exciting this year.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of energy around it, for sure. Right. Do you want to talk about the draft first? because
Sure, man, let's go.
and then we'll do our awards afterwards to finish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This won't be too long of a segment, but the draft lottery is in a couple days. It's on Tuesday.
It's come around so fast.
Yeah, it has and I am really excited to. Basically, this is another draft to see who gets the guaranteed best player, and this year it's Cooper Flag. Like, undoubtedly, teams are going to be gunning to want Cooper Flag.
Oh, it's the Cooper Flag draft.
Yeah.
This will be known as the Cooper Flag draft.
Yeah. I thought, last year's draft was pretty underwhelming in terms of just like big names, but we've seen a lot of good talent come from that draft, like Stefan Castle. Like, he's been incredible. But yeah, this is like the Cooper Flag draft.
Yeah. I mean, Zachary Riesachet was a pretty underwhelming number 1 pick, wasn't he?
Yeah. Considering all the names that have come out of this, recent drafts, Wemby, Banchero, everyone knows. I could list them on, but this is another big name. This is another star name. There are a couple other good players. Like Ace Bailey. Yeah. He's got a disgusting high school mixtape. Yeah, he's just been popular for a while. But I just want to know your prediction on who you think's getting the number 1 pick.
Well, yeah, kind of looking at the teams that have the highest odds. To me, the team that would get the most out of Cooper Flag right now is probably the Philadelphia 76ers that are in that sort of top 5 range.
Yeah.
If there was a team, if one of those 5 teams drafted him next year, I feel like the Sixers would have the highest ceiling with him on the team.
Yeah,
I just
absolutely.
feel like they're already built to kind of have him there. He would play as a 4, right? He'd be a 4 in the NBA. Yeah.
He can even play as a 3.
Yeah.
Like, he's so tall, but
probably a small ball 5. He could probably play.
He could. I mean, in the NBA now, with the way the small ball lineups are going, he could definitely play 5. If Draymond Green can play the 5, Cooper Flag can play the 5.
Yeah.
And then,
I think if I had a runner-up team that could really use him, it's probably Washington. I think.
Well, I mean, they could use anyone.
Well, yeah, obviously, but if you draft Cooper Flag, then you're starting to build a nice little young big 3 there with Jordan Poole, Cooper Flag, and Alex Sarr.
Yeah. I like the sound
the
of
Charlotte
that,
Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets. Look, they are just a mess of an organization. I wouldn't want to see a talent wasted there, to be honest.
I think that would be fun, though. Like, if
It
you're
would be
going
fun. Yeah,
on
it
in
would be
terms of
fun, but-
entertainment value, seeing LaMelo and Cooper Flag together on a team would be so fun.
It would be fun, for sure. But they would just stay in the same
talent
position,
wasted.
man.
Yeah.
They don't know how to build a team around their stars.
No, and they've had time, and they've had chances.
Yeah. So, obviously, the Utah Jazz are probably like the most likely team, right?
Well,
get 'em?
them and the Wizards have got the same chance. Actually, them, the Wizards, and the Hornets have all got a
Okay.
14% chance.
Right.
But I mean, we've seen this with Detroit for so many years. They were the worst team, and they kept getting like the 5th pick so many years in a row until they got
Didn't the
Cade.
year that San Antonio got Wemby, they had like tiny odds to get that pick? Was it that year? There was a recent draft year where the team that got the number 1 pick had the smallest odds. Like, it was so out the gate. I'm fairly sure it was Wemby and the Spurs.
Yeah, I think it was. I also think
No,
the
it
year
wasn't.
that
I think it was
the year that the
Hawks, man.
Pelicans got Zion as well, they had a very small chance.
That's right.
So
I
it's
actually
not
think it might have been the
unlikely.
Hawks that I'm thinking about. Because they are
Must
like
have been.
quite a mid team, you know. They're not
Mm.
like a bottom of the table team.
Yeah, I think they were like
Yeah.
11th or something. 10th. Nah, they were like 11th
Mm.
in the East. But yeah, I'm just excited to see what goes on there. The draft is always a
Yeah,
fun
man.
time. I like seeing new talent come into the league.
It's always interesting in seeing kind of the late picks that blossom into, you know, regular rotation players and sometimes even superstars.
Yeah. And in the Warriors case, Brandon Pajemski especially, we picked him like 28th, and he's become like only 2 years in. This is only his second year in the league, and this is his first playoff run. And yeah, he's been big for the Warriors. And even like Peyton Pritchard for you guys.
Yeah, dude. I'm not 100% sure actually where we drafted Peyton, but I can have a look.
I'm looking now.
Oh, safe.
26th.
Well, there you go. That's a late first round pick.
Yeah.
I would have assumed it was a late pick, just based on us being such a high seed. But yeah, from 26th pick to the sixth man of the year, not too bad.
Yeah, pretty good.
All right, man. Shall we?
All right, we're going to close this episode out.
Awards?
But
No,
yeah,
we're closing it
before we finish, we've got 2 awards each that we are going to
Aha.
give out today. And yeah, I'd like you to start. You can start.
Cool.
What's your first
So
award?
these awards are pretty unserious, obviously. They're just sort of fun ones. But we've come up with 2 of our own NBA awards that we want to give out this year.
This week.
So this week. My first award goes to Joe Mazzulla, and this is the Menace to Society Award, awarded to the biggest menace, dangerous man in the league.
I like to
Do
see
not
him
leave
bleed. Certified Hall
Basically,
of Fame menace.
2 moments have already happened in this playoffs that confirmed this dude is an actual psycho. So, Jason Tatum hurt his wrist in the Magic series. He was down on the play, landed on his wrist. He was on the ground grabbing his wrist, and the team doctor goes to walk out onto the court. Joe Mazzulla holds him back and starts screaming at Jason, "Get the fuck up! Get up! Get up!" Just crazy, dude. Your star player holding back the doctor, telling him to get up. He's just not wanting him to show any weakness.
I love that,
He's- Yeah, oh fuck, I love it, man. He sees the game of basketball as like a war or a fight, and I love it.
Yeah.
And then the second moment was obviously Kristaps Porzingis getting his head split open, and then when Joe was asked about it in the post-match press conference, he said, "I like it when they bleed." With
It's
a
crazy
dead
shit,
straight
eh?
face, just "I like it when they bleed," and it was just dead silent. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
wouldn't know
my
what to say if I
second-
was that reporter either.
My second award, this is what I call the Vibes Over Stats Award, and if I can explain this, it's basically the guy who every person who supports this team raves about them, thinks they're a future star, part of the big 3, only for them to kind of come out and put up 12 points and 4 assists every single night. You know, just complete middery. Middery, is that even a word?
Middery. I'm going to start
Middery.
using that. Yeah, we're going to start using that.
Complete middery from your winner, Austin Reeves, from the Los Angeles Lakers. That man is absolutely vibes over stats. You Lakers fans swear he is so good purely on vibes. So congratulations, Austin.
Yeah. It's because he's a white dude who can ball, and Lakers fans love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
They see
unfortunately
himself.
didn't really come up big these playoffs.
No, he did not.
No. Well, congratulations,
let's hear
Joe.
yours.
And Congratulations, Austin.
Way.
Right, my first award is called the Tunnel MVP Award. And this is for an NBA player who has been putting up all NBA numbers in pre-game fits. And this award this year, or this week, goes to Kyle Kuzma. Woohoo! Yeah. He gets that because in game 1 against the Pacers, he put up a very nice 0-0-0-0-0 in like 25 minutes.
Put up that Kuzma double.
Yeah. And I know we don't like to slander people around here, but I feel like that deserves a little bit of heat.
Come on, dude. Just get one rebound, brother.
Just do
rebound.
something. Just do something. You're doing cardio. And, man, Kyle Kuzma, what a guy.
Look,
I
I genuinely don't think it's slander to say that getting 0-0 and 0-0 is bad.
No.
That's not slander.
No.
That's just straight up bad.
And, look, you trade away Chris Middleton, who turned into Michael Jordan to help you guys win a championship, for fucking Kyle Kuzma, bro. He's been memed consistently for years for the same shit. And you go and trade away Chris Middleton for Kyle Kuzma. It makes no fucking sense. Anyway.
No, it doesn't. Anyway, bro.
My second award today
Yeah.
is called the Young Gun Who Thinks He's a Vet Award. And I'm giving this to my guy, Frankie's guy, our little brother Frankie, Brandon Projemski. So give it up for Brandon. Man, yeah, Brandon Projemski plays like he's been in the league for 12 years. You know, he's not scared at the moment. He'll shoot, even if it's not falling in, like it was today. He'll just keep shooting. He keeps his head up. He stays confident. And he's only in his second year. So I really love what I'm seeing from him. And yeah, he plays like a vet, man. Plays like a straight vet.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations to our winners of our awards.
Yeah, congratulations to our winners. And yeah, tune in next week. You'll be hearing our top 3 How Good moments again, and we'll be giving out a couple awards. Yeah, next episode, we're talking about the UFC 315, and life within the F1 paddock. So look forward to hearing that one from us. Final words from you, Johnson?
No, yeah. That was a much better podcast recording.
Yeah, I think so too.
Praying that my fucking camera's still on. But anyway, no.
You remembered to plug it in this time.
Yeah, no. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions you want to throw at us, any criticisms, any comments, throw it our way. We're open to it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
And any topics or sports you want us to cover as well. Like we do want to cover many sports. It's not just the NBA and F1. What's trending? We can talk about anything, and we want to. We're into so many different sports.
Yeah, eventually we'll start talking about the Super Rugby on a week. When the playoffs are getting near, we'll do a rundown on the season and looking forward to, how we think the playoffs and the Super Rugby is going to go. Yeah. The European leagues and football are finishing up, so we'll definitely be wanting to talk about that. Both of our teams are going to be competing in European finals in a couple of weeks, so fingers crossed for that.
Let's go. It's a long time since that has happened.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I'd also really like to incorporate some of your guys' hot takes and things that, opinions and stuff that you guys have. So please drop a comment, let us know. Would love to hear from you. And yeah, what an episode. Thank you, Johnson.
Kia ora, everybody.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Ka kite.
Tēnā koe.
Bye-bye.